culture is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers
So
in
white
the black
culture
home.
is...
Let's
Stop.
talk about that.
Who do
You're
we vote
talking
for?
to a radical, not a Democrat. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state, and radical blacks do not believe that that is any way for us to have liberation. Well, here's
So
what
when
you
you-
all keep
no,
doing.
no, no, no,
You
just
keep
give me-
interrupting me when
Well-
I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the
But the
point that I'm
point
going to
you're-
make.
the point that
And
you're
yet you want
raising-
me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. If I show you respect, give me the respect back. Ooh, I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go. Greetings. I am Amanda Seals, widely known as a comedian, an actress, a disruptor, an annoying person on the internet who always tells the truth. And I am now an artistic intellectual who commits myself to making art that educates. And today, I am surrounded by 20 black conservatives. My first claim is it is undeniable that reparations are just and necessary.
I agree with her. I wonder how this is gonna go though. That's funny. Hey. I wonder how this is gonna go.
All right, reparations, fair, necessary. My question would be, who's going to get it? Why would they get it? And how long are we going to sit here focusing on trying to get reparations? It's been how many years since slavery? 150 years, 1865? Whenever there's a real thing that this country wants to do, they do it. Stop Asian hate. Okay, there's a problem with the Asian hate. Let's draft a bill, sign it, and it's done. Anything that needs to be done is done. With us, it's a carrot they dangle in front of us that they don't really want to do. And it's not going to help. We need education. Oh, it's not going to help? No, it's not. We need education. Getting a check from the government is not
This nigga don't even sound like he believe what he's saying.
going to do that.
He not even making sense already.
We need proper education. A lot of us go to these institutions where we're not really prepared, we're not really focused, and we don't get things that'll help us in the real world. So if you want to help black people, a check from the government, from our tax dollars is going to get raised, because let's be clear, everybody in here is black. We all American. We all got to pay taxes. It'll go to that. So I don't really see how this is going to help us at all.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with it will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider black people equal, and it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to shifting the mindset around the use of black people as a labor force in this nation back when it was slavery, now in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So on a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad, we see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede black people. So the reparations you're talking about are not just related to slavery. There's reparations that have been discussed all over this nation in different communities as it relates to particular massacres, as it relates to redlining and the impediment of black people to earn wealth by having property. There's been impediments
Yeah, they already know this nigga's on bunk shit.
in various ways that can be repaired. And I want to also just add, there's reparations that are considered a cash payment from a government. There's also the version of reparations that shows up in how funds are applicated to specific groups of people. So there's multiple ways in which what you're stating cannot happen could very well happen.
Okay, now as far as the money going towards certain things is going to help us, let's look at Baltimore Public Schools. They get, I think, the third most money per pupil in the US of A, like $15,000 per student, but yet the majority.
Baltimore City spends $18,000 per student, the 13th highest of the nation, of the nation's 100 largest districts. Despite the spending, only 16% of the 8th graders read at or above national standards, and only 13% of 4th graders. Damn.
See a population that comes from that environment can't read.
But why is he saying? So he's saying that they wouldn't. That we need education and shit like that. And then she's saying, well, reparations could be them funding better education. And now he's trying to rebuttal her point. But she's like,
illiterate.
some niggas just like to argue.
So we're dumping money on the situation, yes, but yet we're not getting the results we should get from it.
See, even she's
Money's
like,
not
nigga,
going to
what?
help the thing. We need to just focus on what we need to focus on. As far as black people being,
Like, what does that even mean? He just said money is not gonna help anything. We just need to focus on what we need to focus on. Like, sometimes I feel like we live in like a South Park episode or fucking Family Guy or something. Like, do niggas like this ever hear themselves talk? Like, what the fuck?
labor force of this country, what else are we doing? We got 25% of us on some kind of government.
Black people receive varying levels of government assistance. 30% are enrolled in Medicaid or CHIP. 24% receive SNAP. 13% receive free or reduced school meals. Why is that bad though?
Government assistance. 1 out of every 3 black men will go to jail. We got to do something.
As of 2022, black men made up 12% of the population, but accounted for 26% of the jail
We got to
population.
work with our hands, work with tools, do something, because we're not doing much of anything. And also, one more piece here. Reparations, again, always anchored in front of us, never going to happen. As long as you've been living, as long as I've been living, as long as everybody been living, they say we need it, we need it, we need it, and it never gets done. One more piece.
You just said one more piece, then you're adding
Hold
another
on,
one.
hold
So,
on, I promise.
So hold on to it.
One
No, hold
more
on
piece.
to it.
I'm gonna land the plane. I'm gonna land the plane. I promise. Reparations is a thing. Like I said, it's a carrot to dangle in front of us. They're never really going to get it done.
Like, he's definitely just here to be on camera, because he's not making no sense. Not at all.
And if it was going to get done, it would have already been done. It's just something that they're using to try and make us stay Democrat. That's what I wanted to say.
Well,
'Cause you-
Democrats are not doing reparations either.
They're not.
This is nonpartisan. This is black partisan, baby. Okay?
Well,
this is nonpartisan.
Who do we
And so-
vote for? Who do we vote for 93% of the time? There's no incentive.
To be quite honest, you're not talking to a Democrat. You're talking to a radical.
Okay, but
Let's land this plane very quick.
Who do we vote for?
Let's land this plane quickly.
Who do
You're
we vote
talking
for?
to a radical, not a Democrat.
Okay,
And
you
so,
are your own person.
Let
but
me
who
tell
do
you
we
something
vote
now.
for?
I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how we're gonna get clicks, stop it now.
Oh,
'Cause
no.
That's not how we're
We
gonna.
having
That's
a
not how
debate.
we're gonna enter.
We having a debate.
A debate does not require continuously cutting somebody off.
Okay, no problem.
Now, I do want to state this. You're stating things as it relates to how money is not fixing a problem without acknowledging the fact that the problem doesn't exist in a vacuum and that there are so many other factors that are determining how that money is getting spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum. The other part of this is that when you're saying they, the they is a broad context. And the last part of this that I will say is that you keep saying they're dangling this in our face. They're dangling in our face. Slavery lasted for 400 years. It hasn't even been 400 years since slavery. So should we be only fighting for a quarter of the time to get repair?
All right, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You've been voted out by the majority.
All right.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
This nigga's trash.
My name's Matt Nuclear.
God.
Hello,
I
Matt.
appreciate-
Close to
Matt
this
Nuclear?
nigga.
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that. Let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
I
All right.
appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the black community would be the stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently. A $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them. And
Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882, banning Chinese laborers from entering the U.S. at the time Chinese workers came to America to send money back to their families. and they were willing to work for lower wages in America.
Basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States, yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people...
According to the FBI data, black murder victims are killed by another black person in 88% of cases. The thing is, though, when people fail to mention when they talk about black on black crime, it's like when like crime is gonna happen naturally in communities, like white communities, black communities, whatever, and it's like if the community is mostly black, it's gonna be black on black crime. Just like in mostly white communities, if we looked up the data, white on white crime probably has a high crime rate. Mexican on Mexican crime probably has a high crime rate. You feel me? It's just that's what the criminals are. Those races of criminals are around their type of people. You feel me?
kill each other, according to the FBI.
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people...
According to the Department of Justice, the homicide victimization rate for black persons, 21.3 per 100,000 persons, was more than 6 times the rate for white person, 3.2 per 100,000. What does that mean? Homicide victimization rate.
Are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Hold on, let me look this up. What was that shit called? Homicide, what does that mean? Homicide victim. What, right? What does that mean?
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued...
Okay, I don't even know how accurate Google is, but I just looked it up. It says... From 2017, 80% of white homicide victims were killed by white offenders. So it's literally like the same, right?
The effort of black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe this?
I'm telling the truth. There's no systemic racism. No one here is in.
In their true citizenship is a continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe this?
I'm telling the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other. But they're more likely to kill each other than white people.
What do niggas be talking about for real? Like what he said, there's no systemic racism.
I already told him.
And he said actually the real systemic racism is against white people. Look at the smirk on his face. These niggas don't be serious. I'm telling y'all, chat, they don't be serious. This is not the face of a serious person.
That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
Oh my God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now. Okay. So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism when we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with
I like
even
how
the
she's
fact
keeping
that
them in check.
redlining, which was implemented to discriminate black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying
Redlining is the practice of denying mortgages to those who lived in neighborhoods considered risky. Lenders targeted black and immigrant communities in urban areas. The practice was outlawed in 1968. That is crazy. Like, it's crazy for people to really sit here and say there's no systemic racism when you have to literally outlaw shit like this because of how racist people are and how slimy and grimy they are and how they'll use any loophole or any type of languaging to be racist. It's actually insane.
I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist, and stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact, and there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems.
Facts.
If a school system
Property tax provides more than 1/3 of the funding to public schools nationwide. Therefore, school districts with lower home values have less local funding.
is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve.
Then-
When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in 3rd grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor, then how is that not systemic?
While the direct correlation between literacy and education levels and incarceration rates, the claim that prison planners use that data to decide where to build has been debunked.
Systemic. And if you want to
Stop
say,
them from entering prisons.
how are you going to stop people from entering
From
prisons if your
educating them.
goal
It-
if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So
Ben
how does-
Carson,
Why does he keep using King Von as an example?
King Von
Ben
happen?
Carson-
How
Ben
does
Carson-
King Von happen?
King Von
Reparation.
hold on,
Actually,
let me
no. Let
finish.
me land the plane.
Yeah.
We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And
Ben
the fact is,
Carson's-
reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and then there is remunerations. Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one
No,
point that I wanted
answer
to
the
say?
question.
Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority. Please
Yeah,
return.
get this. These niggas are weird. He's weird. Like, they don't even believe what they're saying. This is all an act. You can tell he's trying to go viral. He's trying to go viral, but he's trash.
To your seat.
There's no way these niggas believe anything
I hope some
that's.
of y'all are acting. I really do. I really. We in LA.
It's funny. They're all like offended, but it's like you guys are retarded.
In LA, and I hope
Sorry
some
for
people
that
in
word,
here are
but-
acting.
My nigga start. He got a
Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is a coin from Israel.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, you gotta go.
That's a choice that you are making for yourself.
Yes. The thing with the whole reparations thing, and I don't know, we're probably close to the same age, so maybe you can't call me
How old are
mom.
you?
I'm 32.
I am 44.
Oh, really? Oh, you look young.
Thank you. That's what water and keeping stress out of your life will do.
Really? Liberal positions are real stressful.
By the way, I wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal. Carry on.
Well, it's the liberal position because conservatives believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got,
Yep.
not asking for handouts
Right.
from people who never had slaves. Some of the people that you're asking for money from never had slaves. And
Okay.
let's talk about the fact there were also black people that had slaves. So if you want to talk about that, how is that fair? If I'm a
There were approximately 3,700 free black people who owned 12,000 slaves.
white person in my
Where does
family,
that statistic come from? Did they survey these free black people and ask them, like, how do they even, like, what the fuck? Show me where 3,700 free black people
on the
had
side of the
12,000
union.
slaves.
why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all racist? Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery, and they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too because they believed that there would be a future where there would be a black president one day, or that there would.
There's no way this nigga is dressed like
Because they
this. Hold
believe
on,
that there will
hold
be a
on.
future where there.
How do you even debate with a nigga dressed like this? What the fuck? Oh my, I wouldn't even be able to hold myself like together. I'd start
There would
dying
be a
laughing.
black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were
And look
black.
at all these
There was
niggas
people in the
shaking their
North
head.
who
Oh my
helped
God.
with the Underground Railroad and fought with the Union. So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves. That is priority to you than finding a fair way
Facts.
to accommodate
He's
those.
literally, I don't even want to use the word, but like he's literally the word I want to use. Like,
who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity, and we have equal opportunity in this country. We had a black president, just in case you didn't know. We had a black president, and we had a black vice president. I mean, I think she was black. They said she was black. I don't know. So we had.
look at how they all laughed. Like, it's actually sick to see black people with this point of view. And I hope none of my homies have this point of view. Even though if they did, we'd still be homies. But it's actually insane to like sit here and just watch people.
A black president, and you know who voted for that black man? White people. Because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, oh, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have these liberal mindset are infecting our communities, black people, and making us victims and not victors.
I hate when the camera pans and these niggas are just like shaking their head in agreement.
To embrace a victim mentality, because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for equal
Do not bring
opportunity.
up Harriet Tubman's name in vain.
Listen, my opinion on the whole reparations thing is if you set people back, you feel me, like black people in this country are not on an even playing field with white people because of the past. So I feel like reparations is an effort to try to bridge that gap. So when people are arguing against it, it's kind of like, in my opinion, you're arguing against the fact that white people have an advantage in this country. Like, they control everything. They have the upper hand. It's the unfortunate truth, you know, but it is the truth. And why do they have the upper hand? Because they were slave owners. They were controlling this country, and you know, and if you didn't match their tone, regardless of what country or nation you're from, you feel me, you were treated a certain way, like literally like a second-class citizen. Like, what, 3/5 of a man, I think, was our value at a certain point. So it's crazy.
Dang, baby, please.
It's crazy how it's a room full of people that are arguing against
They
it.
said the Lord's name in vain. The Lord's name.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman directly rescued more than 60 people and provided assistance to dozens of others during her journey to freedom. Harriet Tubman received help from free and enslaved African Americans and whites, including the Quakers.
You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No.
Come on in.
No,
come on
you know
in.
who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
People who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
It's
that
a lie. White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir,
It's
that's
a
simply
lie.
not
There's
true.
no such. I mean, there's
If that were not the case, then we wouldn't see the continued effort of colonialism and white people placing themselves in positions of power
You
when
know
they
why
do
they're
not
in
have the
position of power? Because
Let
their
me hear
culture, black culture, is toxic. The
my
black
God.
culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers
So
in
white
the black
culture
home. Let's
Oh
let's
my
get let's
God.
talk
Stop,
about that.
stop.
Let's talk
Stop,
about that.
stop.
Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit.
We having
It's
a
not
debate.
gonna work. No, a debate has to be in facts.
You're
You are
putting off
literally
emotional
not,
liberalism
I am
right
not
now.
putting off emotional liberalism. You're putting off unfounded lies
That's what y'all
based
do. Y'all
in
start saying
conservatism.
misinformation. Remember they
It
did the
is
misinformation thing all summer where everything
Look at this
conservatives
man.
did. They said
You're carrying
misinformation.
a chain around your neck of an apartheid nation that actively wants to harm black people and
What about the
non-Jewish people.
apartheid? What
But
about
let
when-
me bring it
what
back.
about when
Let
black
me bring
people
it
were
back.
selling black people
Let me
in
bring it.
Africa
That was not happening
and
in
put
the
them
context that
cages,
you're saying.
And they were selling
Let's
their
bring
own
it
people.
back.
Black people still sell
Okay.
their own people today too. By
I don't
the
know
way,
if I'm gonna last.
We're selling our own
I
people
can't-
today
I don't know
too.
if I'm gonna
You probably
last.
won't last with me.
I won't because your ignorance is so
See, y'all,
overwhelming.
that's liberals. Y'all start name calling when y'all
No,
getting
it's
defeated
not
in an
lane
argument.
calling. You won't have an argument
This
because you
nigga
keep
is
cutting
ignorant.
me off.
Oh, well, that's fine. If they don't let me come
You
back
won't
up,
even.
I made my
you won't.
point.
You didn't make your.
Nigga is ignorant, y'all. He's ignorant as fuck. Talking about what are the fathers in the home?
I made my point.
You haven't
And
made
I'm
your
okay
point.
with being
And let me
voted
just
out.
tell you about your point. You started off saying we believe in hard work.
Yeah.
And we believe in being compensated.
Reparations is not though. Reparations is not hard work. It's stealing. It's Robin Hood.
You said you believe in hard work.
Yes.
And you believe in being compensated for hard work.
Yes.
We're slaves
I hate when niggas don't let other people talk, bro.
compensated for their work.
They weren't compensated for their work, but why should
That-
people who are sitting at home playing video games, smoking marijuana,
Are you sitting at
be
home
giving
playing a video game?
checks?
Are
But
you
no, the
sitting at
people that
home
they-
playing a video
the
game?
people that they're wanting
Am I
reparations
sitting at
for,
home playing a video game? No.
The people
And
they
I don't
want
know
reparations
I don't
for.
know who these people are that you're talking about because the
Literally, like this, niggas are making up fictional characters. Yeah, some random nigga at home. Like, yes, there might be some random niggas at home smoking a blunt, playing video games that might get a check. But there's also gonna be the people who are directly affected by the shit receiving. Like, people always focus on like the negative of shit when it comes to shit like this. Cause I've even heard people like be talking about like EBT or something, and they're like, oh. But people abuse it and people misharm it and people, finesse and this and that. But then they don't bring up the fact that it's like genuinely probably like a mother of like 4 who can barely afford to feed her family, and without EBT, like her kids would be starving. But they'll conveniently leave that out, But they'll talk about the nigga on the couch playing video games, smoking weed and buying up Wingstop and shit. They'll talk about that though. You feel me? It's like, okay.
majority of the black community is not sitting at home playing video games.
majority of the black
Where are you
community is
getting
doing a
that
lot of
statistic?
things.
Where are you
A lot
getting
of
that
things is not
statistic?
right. I've been-
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return
Thank
to
you.
your
Get this
seat.
I
nigga
knew I
out
was
of
gonna
here.
be surrounded by ignorance, but damn. Let's go.
Okay, now we have
My
a
hands
woman.
from the bottom.
My hands are sweaty because
Okay.
I'm nervous. We both got sweaty
Got it.
hands. Okay. So I just wanted clarity because I think it'd be helpful. You said radical. I wanted just clarity on that. And then also with the reparations, you said it's not just money, it's other things. I just want to know, like, what do you see as like the grand picture of what would help?
The grand picture of what would help.
Of
what?
reparations, like what does that look like to you?
Oh, great. Reparations, what reparations looks like to me is a combination of reparations and remunerations. And reparations are about repair for damages that have been caused based on harm. Remunerations is a monetary response to work that has not been paid for. So if you come and paint my house and I don't pay you, you can take me to court and get remunerations for the work that you have done. So we're actually owed both in this nation as black people, and there are incredibly just clear-cut records that show the buying and selling and purchasing of slaves, the work that was done, also the intellectual property that was stolen from slaves, right? Because there was so much inventing that was happening, and there is also quite a bit of other reparations that are being discussed as it relates to property being stolen, as it relates to, again, redlining and the inability for black people to get loans, etc.
All of this
and
is
these
true and
impediments being
facts.
solely based on their race.
As far as like discrimination.
Yes, like they're being solely based on their race, and not being about anything other than
I
you're
low-key had
black,
hope
so
for this
you
other
can't,
girl, but she
right?
seems
and so
like
when it's
she
very
might be.
clear cut like that, there
She seems like she might be cooked.
are very distinctive responses to that can be done through a cash payment as well as through measures that are being done to create funds for creating resources and responses like housing, like access to food, access to education, etc., that certain communities have not had access to because of the fallout from these things.
And I just had a quick question for clarifying. With the funds I'm wondering, where do you think those should come from? Like the actual money, like is that we're raising money? Is it taxes? Like what does that look like?
Well, I think what they've been doing with these different
Is this an
reparations
interview or debate?
committees is they're looking at, all right, well, how much has this city or how much has this town or how much has this country gained from the estimated amount that was stolen from these people, right? So they're looking at like, what is this wage amount? For instance, like if you look at during that time, okay, what was the wage amount that a hired worker would get for this same work? All right. And so we're looking at how was that wage not provided and what is that pool that is being created? And then we're looking at, all right, where can that wage come from in terms of how has that wage been applied? So there are spaces where this is very clear. I think the last thing that you asked about was the difference between liberal and radical.
Yeah, please.
Ultimately, the concept of liberalism is really just not Republican, right? I mean, that's essentially what it's become.
I
It's
would
like,
disagree with that, but I understand that's your stance.
there's a very generic concept of what liberalism is in the sense that it's simply saying that I am a part of the bipartisan mind frame, but I am not a Republican. It's a mindset. It doesn't always show up in action, but it's a mindset that says, you know, I don't support extremes in certain ways, or, you know, I want the government to show up in certain ways. You know, I know there's a conservative point of view that says there should be less government, but even though it just says that, the action is very different. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state, and radical blacks do not believe that that is any way for us to have liberation.
Thank you for explaining that.
And thank you for being very respectful.
We were told to be respectful. We're not your enemies.
Thank
so.
you, my good sis.
Surrounded is now a podcast.
She
Available
was
wherever you
just
listen.
a fucking
Search
interviewer.
Surrounded, plug in.
Power of this country and the world
Oh
into
shit.
criminality. Black
Oh, shit.
The next claim is that black on black crime is a result of underinvestment and over-policing.
You could just see the look on this light-skinned nigga face. That's funny. Hold
and
on.
over-policing.
Look at you could just see the ignorance in his eyes. He's lost. He's
So you
lost.
said that black on black crime is due to underfunding and overpolicing, essentially.
Yes.
I actually don't necessarily disagree with one of those. I think that, however, the government, who do you think should be responsible for the funding piece of the black community? Should that be something that the government should step into, or should that be something that we as black people need to handle ourselves? Dr. Jordan Peterson and even Thomas Sowell and several others have stated one thing, that poverty and crime, there's a positive correlation. There's also a positive correlation in the black community of absentee fatherism being one of the root causes leading into
Why
criminality.
do niggas
Black
keep
male-
talking
black
about
males
this? You're a man. Just be staying your kid's life. That's all you could do, man.
grew up without a father are 10 times more likely.
Research clearly shows there is a correlation between absent fathers and a higher likelihood to engage in criminal activity. Researchers have reached different conclusions on the exact percentage. Data from Florida Atlantic University found children with incarcerated parents are 5 to 6 times more likely to become offenders.
To engage in criminal activity. And so I think one of the...
Can I put a pin right there and ask you a question?
Ask me whatever you like.
What is the root cause of there being less fathers present?
Bad decision making on the part of the fathers. We live in a patriarchal system. Like it or not, men have dominated the socioeconomic, economic, and political power of this country and the world since our existence. So our bad decision making, especially...
His voice, he sounds like a nigga that, like, you gonna listen to what you gonna believe what he say, but I want to hear what he has to finish saying.
when we focus on the black community, is the root cause of fatherlessness.
What type of decisions?
Not marrying the women we decide to lay down and have children with. Not being careful with the seeds that we plant in women. No woman can get pregnant without a man planting his seed inside of her. So therefore...
So it's marriage.
Well, that's a part of it. That's marriage is a part of it.
Okay.
But the true piece that I'm looking at is connectedness between familial units. The black community was at its economically strongest while being at its poorest during the segregation era. Prior to 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King in his last speech said that we have an annual income of more than $30 billion a year, which is more than all of the exports of Canada and more than all of the exports of the United States and more than the national budget of Canada. That was when we were economically at our poorest. Yet 85% of our black children were growing up with a father in the home. There was
The substantial progress in education and attainment of African Americans has been accompanied by significant absolute improvements in wages, income, wealth, and housing necessary. But black workers still make only 82.5 cents on every dollar earned by white workers. African Americans are 2.5 times more likely to be in poverty as whites, and the median white family has almost 10 times as much wealth. Damn, that's a median black.
Less black on black crime. There was less disenfranchisement.
Why was there less black on black crime?
Because we needed to live together. We had to stick by each other. We had to stick
What
by
was
each
there
other.
also less of?
I'm not sure where you're leading. That's a leading question. I don't like those.
You don't like this?
I don't like leading questions. No, I like direct stuff.
So essentially, when we were living in our own communities, we were also policing our own communities. So we were not being used as statistics in the same way to determine how resources were provided to our own communities. When we were going to the government saying, hey, we deserve because we are supposed to be separate but equal, we weren't saying, hey, we want to be with y'all. We were essentially saying, we want what you are stating we deserve. And that is what all of the efforts of the civil rights movement has been. It's literally just been to say, you said when we got out of the Civil War that we would be considered citizens, and all citizens should be getting equal access to these things. However, you are actively allowing the Klan to harm us. You are actively allowing...
Who's killed more black people, the Klan or us?
I would like to continue my statement.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean?
You speak uninterrupted.
You did.
When we talk about this concept of who is harming us, we are really making a false claim when it comes to black on black crime, as if there isn't white on white crime. There's also this unnecessary effort to try and pathologize black on black crime in a way that you don't try to pathologize white on white crime.
Facts.
There are white people killing each other every single day. Now, they may be on jet skis in the pictures after they shoot up their whole family, but nonetheless, there are white people killing each other every single day. Now, much of the reason why you may see more numbers in terms of black on black crime are for two reasons. One, the statistics be lying all the time. We have seen
What
this.
numbers? Okay, when you
we
say
have
that,
seen
no,
this
no,
in a real way.
but I have a
So in
question.
New
No,
Jersey.
when you say,
so
when
in
you
New
say
Jersey.
that, what numbers can be trusted? Because with the previous speaker, you
I'm
said
about to
statistics all
tell
the
you
time.
right now.
Okay, so your sources can
You
be
can't
trusted.
such number. No, I'm literally about to give you an example of numbers not being able to be trusted.
Okay, talk to me.
That's what I was doing.
I'm
so,
listening.
Okay, then listen.
Oh, my ears open.
So listen, in New Jersey, they had a statistic that was created by the police department that said, look at how many black people are committing crimes. Look at how crazy this number is. These black people are so exorbitantly violent. Look at this. And then people went and actually matched the names that they were booking with the faces of the actual people incarcerated. And it was proven that they were lying.
So that's one. So that's one instance.
That's
Hold on.
one
No. You're talking to
example.
somebody that works as a police dispatcher when I'm not making content. So here's the thing.
Oh, I
So
see.
no. You see what?
Well,
The truth is, you're about to see the truth if you just give me a second. Like Trump said, just give me a second. I'm going to do the weave, but give me a minute.
Well, here's
So
what
when
you all keep doing. You
just
keep
give me-
interrupting me when
Well,
I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the
But the
point that I'm
point
going to
you're-
make.
the point that
and
you're
yet you want
raising-
me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. So if you want me to keep getting louder, I will do it. But ultimately, if I show you respect, give me the respect back.
Hey man, she remind me of my auntie. I ain't even gonna lie. She remind me of my
I let
auntie,
you
man.
talk. I let you make your points. I am countering your points. And my points are just as valid as yours, even though you got a pocket square and a Church of Christ pin on your chest.
It's not a Church of Christ. It's
Whatever.
A cross.
It's a cross. Same difference. You got an American flag and you think you know something because you a cop. And ultimately,
Not a cop, dispatcher, there's a
ultimately it's ACAB all day.
Damn, I thought he said not a cop, bitch. Then we would have got real hectic in this motherfucker. That shit would have been
over
funny,
here.
bro.
So let me make that clear. But let me also add to my point. My point is that you can sit here and blame black people on black people all day long and not acknowledge that we are forced into. You're coming to interrupt me again.
I haven't even said a word.
All right, that is flags, so I'm gonna ask you to return to your seat.
It's a waste of my time.
Yeah, niggas like she let them talk and then they just keep. I would be mad too.
Y'all just want to be seen. I don't need to be seen.
That's what I'm saying. These niggas just want to go viral, bro. They're pandering. They are pandering. Oh my god.
Hello.
Oh my god. I'ma predict she said some stupid shit. She just looked like she don't know shit.
How are you? I'm
Yes,
Jasmine, the pretty good.
Lady.
Say less outfit. Okay.
Thank you.
So this is my thing. I think the premise of your question was black on black crime. So I think I'm coming from a place, and I guess my issue is having had my biological father murdered by a black man, having had my cousin shot in the head by a black man. We can talk numbers and statistics and what the people are doing, what the white man is doing and all that. But at the end of the day, I see when my family lives on the south side of Chicago, and I think you and I both can attest to this, and I'm not saying that there are not other factors, but we know that we kill each other at a disproportionate rate than any other race. Now, why we do that and why 6,000 to 9,000
But is it at a disproportionate rate, though? Niggas kill each other because they live in communities with each other. Same reason why, if you go to probably rural white neighborhoods, they be killing each other. Go to the middle of Oklahoma, go to some middle nowhere fucking trailer park. They probably be having gangs and murdering niggas and shit.
Black men are going to be homicided or killed or whatever by the end of the year annually by other black men, whereas the likelihood of a black man being killed by a white police officer is less than 150.
Police have killed on average 238 black men per year since 2017. About 58% more per year. Damn.
Per year. We know that we kill each other at a higher rate. So I'm not debating that there are not factors at play, but because I've lived the experience as a black woman losing my father to be murdered by a black man walking down the street,
to hear that, by the way.
No worries, thank you. But walking down the street in inner cities and different things, knowing that it's more likely that my own brother will rob and rape me than a white man or a white officer, we got to be real.
What's your proximity to white men in the south side of Chicago? Are there even white men around to rob and rape you at the same rate that there are black men?
There are white men around.
At the same rate?
There wasn't a lot of black people in there, but then that doesn't justify the fact that we're destroying each other. So even if we get to the root, like
we can agree on that,
okay, because I feel like a lot of
nothing
times liberals
justifies.
will argue like, well,
I'm not
the
a
white
liberal.
people are killing
I am
people.
I'm not a liberal.
Okay, well, I will say that people that sometimes have your stance that are against conservatives, maybe they have this claim that they're making it up, they're making up the numbers. We know that we do that to each other. So I want to get to the root of the issue. Why are we killing each other? I think the root of the issue is we've lost our values and we've lost our resilience as black people. We sit there and we talk about what the white man did and we talk about slavery and everything like that, but we have no self-accountability.
You know what's crazy is that there's black people that are brainwashed by this propaganda about black people. Like, it's actually insane. Like, it's black American. Like, I understand it in a sense to a small degree when it's other... When it's people from other countries that are brainwashed by American propaganda about American black people, because I'm like, well, you don't live or you don't know too many, you might not know any American black people to actually know someone, and or you wouldn't even know enough to know the differences and the nuances, and like everyone's not the same, everyone's not how they portray them to be. But it's like, damn, to be black and to be brainwashed like everybody in this room except Amanda, it's like, it's actually insane to me. Like, how could you be so brainwashed?
And say, you know what? At the end of the day, that is my black grandmother. That is my black sister. You are my black sister. And you know that a black man is more likely to rob you or commit some type of crime against you. And that's what we need to get down to the issue of. And like you were talking about earlier, like, hey, well, what's going on? You know, what do you think the answer is to one of the brothers that were speaking? I think it's the breakdown of the family. I think, like he said, because of our poor choices. And what happens is we look at domestic violence, for example. When domestic violence, women or men are even attacked, what is the first thing we say? It's like, you know what? It's not your what? It's not your fault. So that's what we do. We hold on to this narrative that, well, it's not our fault and the issues in our community are not our fault, and the white man needs to give us something. The old white lady down the street is looking at me and I don't know why she got braids in her hair, and we focus on all these other stupid things that don't matter. We don't get to the root of the fact that we're killing each other at a higher rate than any other race. It is self-hatred amongst us. I believe that we can do that. That my cousin, my mom's cousin, coming from the church parking lot, and guess who stuck her up and robbed her at gunpoint? A black man.
I need you to get to the point.
Like,
so
my
I can
point
respond.
is that, no, and I'm not trying to be funny, unless, like you said, we're gonna keep it respectful.
Yeah, but you're monopolizing the whole conversation.
I'm
We're
not trying.
being
Okay, I'm
able
gonna let
to...
you speak, but let's not get the
Yes.
attitudes and stuff, because you're my sister and I respect you. So
I don't have an attitude. I'm being direct to you, but you're literally speaking this, and you're not going to do that with me either.
Okay,
so you're
I'm
stating your
respecting
point, and you've been stating your point for quite some time.
So
do you have a reason for me to respond?
Would you allow me to respond? So that's a better response. Go ahead.
The response that I have for you is that everything you're saying does not exist in a vacuum. I actually agree with you in that, yes, there has been an incredible denigration of black worth and black pride in this nation. I think it's also very important to acknowledge what has contributed to that. And to state that it is only black people that have contributed to that is a false flag. So we have to admit that. So in order to have this conversation around how we got here, you can't say, oh, well, we're caring about the white woman getting braids and that doesn't matter and this thing. All of that attaches. All of that is actually a very big part of the lack of worth of black people.
I'll ask you, do you think we're resilient? What does resilience mean to you? Do you think we have to be perpetual victims, or do you think that black people are resilient?
I think that those are different conversations. I think that the concept of black people being victims is really trying to not provide accountability to where the root problem for the actual cause is. And if we keep saying that somebody is a victim and that doesn't mean that the other person...
It's crazy. I predicted this bitch would be done.
Have accountability, then what are we really doing? You can be a victim and be resilient.
How do we do both if you stay in the victimhood? That's my question.
But your statement about black people staying in the victim place is also
How do we
your
rise
point of
above
view.
it? But how do we rise above it?
We continue to rise above it by one, pouring into our communities with mutual aid, but two, by simultaneously making sure that we are challenging the systems that are in place to impede us. We have so many opportunities where we are trying to do mutual aid, and those things get disrupted by
Vote the bitch out of here, y'all.
folks who want to have capitalist gain, by folks who want privatization. We used to have all these mom and pop businesses in our communities.
There's
That
over
used to
3 million
serve-
black millionaires in America right now. You are an intelligent black woman that is successful.
That's irrelevant.
No one's stopping me from doing anything. I'm an intelligent black woman that
Many
graduated and is
efforts have
successful.
tried to stop me from doing what I do. We are not all equal in our capabilities. And we are not all equal in our ability to be invested in by others.
I agree with
we
you.
are
It's
not
like my
all
question
equal
of
in our
resilient.
trauma.
Are we resilient?
We can't say because it is a false equivalency.
I believe
we
that every
keep
black
trying
person
to,
has resilience,
We
from
keep
slavery
trying,
all the way up to
but we
today.
keep trying to cause.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You've been voted out.
Yeah, vote that bitch off, y'all. Look at this nigga, hot pursuit.
First, I
Nigga
want
be ready to jump out the
to
chair.
say I want to kind of get rid of this like right left ordeal. I really want to talk about just like our own personal views and what we've experienced, what we've seen. And when it comes to your claim about black on black crime, I really do believe, and I think a lot of people here do believe, especially based off of personal experiences and everything, that it is just lack of accountability. In the black community, we need to start taking responsibility for our actions and stop pointing our fingers at other people and the white man. Because to be
Why
honest,
can't both happen at the same time?
because
Both are causes.
Because you gotta clean your own house before
Both
you
are
go complain.
why?
Because if we're
you're
gonna sit
dirtying my
here-
house,
no,
if you
no,
keep
it's
pouring
not-
shit into
no,
my house
it's-
and I'm cleaning it, why can't I do both? Why can't I clean my house and bar the windows from you shitting on my house?
Because it begins with responsibility within us. If we're like,
Yes.
okay, oh, the white person's doing this to me, the white person's not. We're not
But they
going to ever come
are.
to the core of the
But
issue.
they are.
We need to take
and it's not
responsibility.
even just the white person, because now we have seen very many races,
Where are they finding these niggas?
people of very many backgrounds that are actively participating in the effort to keep a working class down. Like that is absolutely a fact. It's not just white people. So I don't attend to that. But I will say the reality of there being systems in place is real. Over-policing is a real thing. You know what's also been really real is the effort of violence interruption in certain communities, right? So we've seen this in Detroit. We've seen this in New York. We've seen this in Baltimore, where there are communities that have said, what we're going to do is we're going to be like a neighborhood watch for our community, so that before the popo even come, before 12 even rolls up in here, we're going to actually put ourselves in between the conflict and calm it down. And that has been incredibly effective. But you know what? It's not fun.
According to the Department of Justice, Detroit's model for Neighborhood Watch significantly reduced crime and fear of crime. Neighborhood watches in general, however, have mixed results.
It's not funded. And you would think that like city councils and mayors and governors would say, shit, you know what? This is going to save us so much money, because why? Taxpayers keep having to pay for the fault of these police officers. And even though we say, well, only a certain number of people have died, that doesn't dispel the fact that a large amount, more black people are imprisoned than any other group in this nation. And that is not by accident.
Again, I started with accountability, and it just seemed like they're not.
But I
going higher.
disagree with you.
No,
I mean, I
it
don't.
is.
I don't disagree with you.
Because here's the thing: look at our media. Look at rap. Look at what we're glorifying.
right.
We're glorifying violence.
Who's we? Wait, who's we? Who's we? Who's
the black community?
Who controls the
black community?
Who controls the distribution of these sources of media?
And who takes it in? And who takes it in?
Listen, if you're okay, so let me put it in this context. If I have a company, right, and you guys are my employees, and I determine what you get to eat every day, that's also going to determine how you exist in this company, right? Like if you come to work and I say the only thing you can eat is processed foods and fried foods, and you're not going to get to have the best vegetables, etc. What's that going to affect? Your health. That's going to affect your ability to operate, etc. This is how the United States operates. There's a lot of us that don't want to admit that as much as accountable as we want to be, all of our brains also don't operate the same way. Some of us are much more apt to be indoctrinated than others. That's a fact. There is a 1% of people that knows this. There's a whole show called Mad Men that's about advertising, etc. And if we don't acknowledge multiple things at the same time, then we simply cannot stop it. We can be as accountable as we want to be. And I hope I hope that if you're right, because I hope you're right, I wish that it was a situation where if black people could just be accountable, then nothing else would matter. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case, because we have seen when we have Black Wall Street in Tulsa and we have Black Wall Street in Durham, that when we actually do hold our own and build our own communities, they will still come and run it down.
Pause. You've been voted out. Please return to your
She's
seat.
spitting facts. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Joshua.
Hello, Joshua.
Yeah. So I have two claims I want to settle. So I'm originally from New Orleans, right? And I've seen black on black crime my whole
Absolutely.
life, right?
Yes.
I don't believe it has nothing to deal with the police. It's more with the community, because there's a lot of pride that's in that city, where to the point where this person ain't telling me nothing, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah.
Is that simple in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Now Cali is probably the same way, but I
Okay.
feel like every state is different. You probably the way how your belief is might be right, but in New Orleans it's a little different. Also, my second claim is this: we proclaim so much about Black Lives Matter, but when it comes down to a white person killing a black person, it's a big deal. It just don't make no sense to me.
Do you know what the statement Black Lives Matter is actually stating?
Yeah, well, just started out from George Floyd.
Start off with Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, okay.
So Black Lives Matter is really simply just stating that when black people are murdered by the police, that our lives should matter, and that oftentimes it is not considered. It is oftentimes presented as we deserved it, or we must have done something to cause it, and that our lives are disposable. We also don't ever see true justice on the same level as others when the police incur violence against black people. So Black Lives Matter is a statement asserting that our lives are worth justice, our lives are worth preservation, and we have seen in innumerable instances a level of restraint operated between the police and people of other races that they do not seem to carry with black people. So that's what Black Lives Matter means. It doesn't mean that anyone else's life doesn't matter. It means that ours matter just as much as their lives.
That's good that you cleared it out for people. Yeah, that's good.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Now, as it comes to New Orleans, tell me this. Well, first of all, it was, I think it's the senator of Louisiana who literally made a campaign ad, Kennedy it was, that said, do you want Louisiana to be run by crackheads? Like he said that, like straight
they
up.
have a bunch of them there. Yeah. They
So
do.
here's my question about New Orleans. Would you say that New Orleans gets, that particular areas of New Orleans, for instance, like the Ninth Ward?
The Ninth Ward's crazy, but I'm just saying they
But
crazy.
would you say that funding and attention is dispersed equally across New Orleans in terms of resources? Because I know that from living through Katrina that is absolutely not the case.
I agree with you in that case. Everybody's not equal when it comes down to resources. For sure, I agree with you.
Here's the thing I want to just...
Maybe I'm wrong, chat. Maybe I'm wrong. I've noticed a lot of black conservatives, maybe just on this show, are a little slow. Like, you can see the slowness in them. Like, this nigga's stupid. The bitch before him was stupid. The other nigga was stupid. The old nigga was stupid. Like, it's like,
In part,
okay,
I think that
I'm seeing the trend here.
we have a very distorted version of what resiliency and what restorative practice is, because we live in a time where we're seeing so many things happen so fast. So like we've seen technology like advance so fast, right? Like we have seen just our lives shift so fast that I think that we forget that as humans, our ability to recalibrate, to heal from trauma is simply not the same as the things that we are watching in technology. And so we cannot just casually think that people just get over things. Katrina, people in New Orleans are still reeling from Katrina.
Yeah, they are. That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
Is true.
So
yeah,
when we talk about the amount of crime and violence that is still living and happening explicitly in Katrina, we have to also talk about the amount of trauma, the amount of drug use, the amount of policing, the amount of all of these things that physically harm people across the world, not just in the United States, across the world, in communities that are not being served, and how those communities never get the chance to quote unquote pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
Yeah, I agree. I personally agree. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that was
for sure.
fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Like, he did, that's what I mean by like stupid. Like, he didn't even believe what he was really saying, and like what he's saying he believes in. Like, it was so easy to sway him. It was really just like ignorance, like lack of knowledge. Like he really just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video. Straight Arrow News is on a...
Niggas be tripping. But listen, chat. I'm going to finish this video later, and I'm going to go to sleep. It's 1:30 in the morning. Got a long day tomorrow. And I got to make some videos after this, so...